Table tennis, also known as ping-pong, is a fast-paced indoor sport enjoyed by millions worldwide. It is a form of tennis played on a table divided by a net, where players use paddle to hit a lightweight ball back and forth. Table tennis originated in the 1880s in England. It started as a parlor game on indoor version of lawn tennis, commonly played by the upper class after dinner. Ivor Montague is a founding father of the table tennis. He founded the International Table Tennis Federation ITTF in 1926, and he served as TTF first president over 40 years. And he was organized the first World Table Tennis Championship in London in 1986, and codified standardized international rules, and mostly widely recognized as the father of modern table tennis. How table tennis came to the Philippines. Table tennis was introduced to the Philippines during the American colonial period in the early 90s. It became popular in school, clubs, and community centers. Over time, it was recognized as a competitive sport. In 1951, the Table Tennis Association in the Philippines was established to promote the sport nationally. The Philippines became a member of International Table Tennis Federation, allowing Filipino athletes to join international competitions.
The table net on the playing area. The table, which may be made of any materials that produce a uniform bounce, is 9 feet long and 5 feet wide. The playing surface is 25 feet above the floor. The table surface may be dark green or blue. A white lines run along each ends, forming 2 ends line and 2 sides line. The playing surface includes the ends only, not including the sides below ends. In doubles, a line at the center divide each end in 2 equal parts. This center line is regarded as a part of the right half on each end. Paddle and the balls. The paddle has 2 parts, the blade or wood and the face, which is the part that is covered with rubber. The paddle may be of any shape, size, and weight. The blade must be covered with rubber. If the blade is already with the rubbers, it may already be called a paddle. It should be black on one side and bright red on the other. The rubber may be smooth or pimpled depending on the player's playing style. The mat ball is spherical, weighs 27 grams and has a diameter of 40 millimeters. It is made of celluloid or similar plastic and may be white or orange. Different types of ball are for different purposes. Fun novelty balls are available in any different colors and size, and particularly suitable for children and for recreational play. Practice training balls are generally softer balls and are best suited for beginners. One-star balls are suitable for use at school and youth clubs. Two-star balls are suitable for use by improvers or in robot or for multi-balls practice. The highest quality balls are the 3-star balls, the only type of authorized by the International Table Tennis Federation for use tournament.
Mechanics and rules of the game. Table tennis is played in singles or doubles. The players alternately hit a small plastic ball back and forth across the net with a rubber-faced wooden paddle. A player serves the ball by tossing it with the free hand and hitting it with the paddle to propel the ball to the other side of the table. If the serve is returned so that the ball strikes the table once on the far side of the net, the rally continues until one side is unable to make a good rhythm. A match shall be played in best of 3, 5, or 7 games, and each game shall be played until a player or team scores 11. If a player or team leads by 2 points, if the score becomes 10-10. Play is continuous, however, a player may ask for a 1-minute timeout once in the entire match. Other than this timeout, a 1-minute break is given in between the games. Brief pauses after a cumulative 6 points may also be incurred to hydrate, to towel off, or to do similar things or scoring. A player gains a point when his opponent fails to hit the ball, fails to toss the ball for at least 6 inches high, tosses the ball with cupped hand, tosses the ball starting from below the level of the playing surface, catches the ball that is tossed, hides the ball during service, moves the table during rally, fails to let the ball go across the net, does not let the ball hit the playing surface, volleys the ball, allows the ball to bounce twice in his end, strikes the ball twice in hitting a return, strikes the ball out of turn in doubles, or fail to return the serve. The expedite system. Except if 18 points have been scored, the expedite system shall come into operation after 10 minutes of play in a game or at any time when requested by both players or pairs. If the ball is in play when the time limit is reached, play shall be interrupted by the umpire and shall resume with service by the player who served in the rally that was interrupted. If a ball is not in play when the expedite system comes into operation, play shall resume with service by the player who received in the immediately preceding rally. Thereafter, each player shall serve for 1 point in turn until the end of the game. And if the receiving player or pair makes 13 returns in a rally, the receiver shall score a point. Introduction of the expedite system shall not alter the order of serving and receiving in the match. Once introduced, the expedite system shall remain in operation until the end of the match. Serving. At the initial part of the service, the ball shall be motionless, resting freely on the flat, open palm of the free hand of the server, behind the end line and above the height of the playing surface. He shall then toss the ball close to vertically upwards without putting spin so that it is at least 6 inches high after leaving the palm of the free hand, and then descend without touching anything before being hit. As the ball descends, the server shall hit it so that it touches his end of the table first and then, after going over or around the net assembly, hits directly the receiver's end. In doubles, the double shall hit successfully the right half court of the server's and receiver's end. The paddle and ball shall be above the height of the playing surface from the last time that the ball is motionless before being tossed until it is hit. The ball shall be hit behind the server's end line but not yet behind his body. When there is a dire failure to fulfill the requirements for a legal service, no caution shall be given and the receiver shall gain a point on the first and any other occasion. Returning. A return is good when the ball passes over or around the net or its support and strikes the opponent's end. A rhythm may touch the net or its supports as long as it lands in the opponent's end. A ball ceases to be in play if it touches any foreign objects. The rally should be a let if during service the ball touches the net assembly as it passes over it, provided that the service is legal. The service is given when the receiving player or team is not ready, provided that neither of the opponents tries to return the ball. Failure to make legal service or legal return or otherwise to conform of the laws is due to an interruption outside the control of the player, and play is interrupted by the game officials. The order of the play. In singles, the server first make a good service, the receiver then makes a good return, and hereafter, server and receiver alternately shall each make a good return. In doubles, the server make a good server first, the receiver thread makes a good return, the partner of the server then make a good return, the partner of the receiver then make a good return, and thereafter each player in turn in that sequence shall make a good return. The order of serving, receiving, and changing of ends. The right to choose the initial order of serving, receiving, and end shall be a toss of coin. The winner of the soon toss shall choose first. When one player or pair has made a choice, the other player or pair shall have the other choice. After 2 points have been scored, the receiver shall become the new server and the process is repeated until the end of the game, except if both players or pairs gain 10 points, or when the expedite system is in process, of which the sequences of serving and receiving shall stay the same but a player shall serve for only 1 point per service round. In doubles, the pair having the right to serve shall also decide when the team will receive first. In the next games of the match, the first server have been chosen. The player who served to him in the preceding game shall be the first receiver. In doubles, the player who received previously shall become the server and the partner of the player who served previously shall become the receiver after each service round. The first server in a game shall be the first receiver in the next game of the match.
Fundamental skills. Grip. In table tennis, you may hold the paddle with either the shake-hand grip or the pinhold grip. The table tennis grip is important because it controls the paddle angle. The angle of the paddle controls the height, depth, speed and direction of the ball and the type and the amount of spin that can be imparted to the ball. The shake-hand grip is appropriately named because you grasp the paddle as if you were shaking hands with somebody. Your pointing finger extends over the bottom of the rubber on the backhand side and your thumb slightly touches the rubber on the forehand side. Actually, only 3 fingers of the palm grasp the handle of the paddle. Pinhold grip. The pinhold grip is also appropriately named because you hold the paddle just like a pen. Only your thumb and forefinger grasp the paddle at the top of the handle. Spin. A good player uses spin while attempting to hit the ball onto the opponent's sides. Spin makes returning more difficult. The 3 spins used are top spin, back spin, and side spin. To impart top spin to the ball, you must angle your paddle to close position, swing. To impart back spin to the ball, you must angle your paddle to open position, swing through the ball, but don't use as much speed as you would use in producing top spin. Slightly brush the bottom of the ball. A back spin ball is predisposed to rise. A ball hit with a strong backspin is most commonly called a chop spin. Almost no players use pure side spin in their strokes, but many use it in their serve. To impart up your side spin angle, the paddle sideways and swing sideways. However, athletes may mainly combine top spin and side spin or back spin and side spin in their strokes and serve. Paddle angle. Close position with the paddle held in a vertical position. The angle is described as neutral. This is the ready position and is used when you are waiting for your opponent to serve. Neutral position. When the striking side is angled downwards at around 45 degrees, the angle is described as close. This is the position used to play a top spin shot or a block against a top spin. Open position. When the striking side is angled upwards at around 45 degrees, the angle is described as open. This is the position used to play a backspin shot like push or chop.
The basic shots. We have to learn things from the easiest to the most difficult. Following this principle, start with the backhand push. and then to the forehand drive. Next is the backhand drive, and finally the forehand push. First is the backhand push. To play this shot, stand close to the table and take a stance facing the lane of play. Using a short stroke, your racket arm should move forward from the elbow in horizontal plane to the incoming ball. With a backhand stroke, brush the bottom of the ball with your paddle in open position so that you impart a slight backspin as you step your right foot forward, placing it slightly under the table. The next is the forehand drive. Stand close to the table in sideward manner, direction of play, facing the direction of play. Using a medium stroke, your racket arm should progress forward a little upwards in the course that the ball is directed, while your free arm should point towards the ball to assist your body in timing and in maintaining balance. In executing shot, your upper body should swivel approximately 45 degrees to the right, then return to face the ball, while your body weight is displaced from your right foot to your left. The paddle should be slightly close to impart a slight topspin. The next is the backhand drive. Stand close to the table and take a stance facing the direction of play. Using a medium stroke, your racket arm should progress forward and a little upward in the course that the ball is directed. The paddle should be slightly close, and by keeping a low twist, you can produce a slight topspin as your arm is moved forward. Hit the ball with the backhand stroke at the top of the bounce using half of your stroke action before hitting the ball and the second half after the hitting the ball. The next is the forehand push. Stand close to the table facing the direction of play. Using a short stroke, your racket arm should move forward from the elbow in horizontal plane to the incoming ball. With forehand stroke, brush the bottom of the ball with your paddle in open position to impart a slight backspin as you step your right foot forward, placing it slightly under the table. This is strategies. Strategies is the basic strategy is to keep the ball in play for longer than your opponent. Called strategies generally rely on three main abilities. Number 1, the ability to keep the ball alive on your end. Number 2, the ability to create openings by directing the ball to different areas and or applying pressure by using varied spins and speed. And the last is the ability to let the ball die on your opponent's end. Strategies also is having those abilities as foundation. Use the following strategy to improve your match results. Utilize your opponent's limitation. To play on your opponent's weaknesses, you will first need to find out what they are. Two ways to do this are to observe him while the plays or simply play with him. Direct the ball to different areas of the table using diverse strokes, spin, and speed until you find a weakness. Maybe your opponent is weaker with short balls or on the backhand side than the forehand side, or maybe this is weak against high discovered. Try to exploit his weakness. The weakness may not always be where you expect it, therefore do not be presumptuous. Play consistently. Keep the ball in play for longer than your opponent could by being consistent on your strokes. You can often gain points as your opponents will commit errors. This doesn't mean that you have to be a defensive player, but by executing consistently good shots, you lessen your unforced errors. This may be your opponent impatient, making him commit the unforced errors. Strategies also is Test the level of mobility of your opponent by directing your shots to different areas of the table. You can check out the most advantageous areas where you can place the ball, move your opponent, or take him by surprise. Move your opponent to the sides by directing the ball to the wide forehand and wide backhand, or move him forward and backward by hitting short and long balls. Make variety your friend. Don't play or same shots to the same areas on the table. If you always play the same shots to the same areas, your opponent will more likely get used to them and be able to predict them by right degrees of topspin, backspin, or side spin to the imparting varied ball. You can make it more complicated of your opponent because there will be a difference in the ball's flight path and the height of its bounce as a consequence. That's all.